Hello and welcome back to my channel. I've not made any videos in quite a while now, but I recently reached the end of a bullet journal and I thought now would be a really good time to show you the setup of a new one. So I'm going to be using loads of my favourite materials. Loads of these are available in my store, nikkisupply.store.com, so I'll pop a link to all of those in the description below. So this is a Leuchtturm 1917 A5 dotted journal, and this has lasted me around 6 months. And I really like this pink colour, so I've decided just to go for exactly the same for my new journal. I've had one of our clear journal covers on this for the last 6 months now, and this goes everywhere with me, so it has become a little bit dog-eared and I'm going to give myself a new one for this journal. So these fit the Leuchtturm 1917 A5 journals and most other A5 notebooks too, and they're just super handy because they keep your journal nice and clean over the months that you'll be using it. So it takes a little bit of adjusting just to get it on correctly, and then once it's on, it's on. So I'm going to start off with a key. This is a key that I have found works really well for me over the time that I have been bullet journaling. It is not the key that everyone uses, but this is what I like to use. Just started off by plotting out a pencil rectangle, and then I'm just going to go over and erase some of it so the lines are nice and light for me adding my pen on top. So I'm going in with one of my mild red mild liners first, just to do the little drop shadow and underline on the title, and then I'm going to go back with one of my Muji gels, just because I find that mild liner on top of the Muji makes the Muji pen run a little bit. And then my key for tasks itself is super simple. An empty box is a task to complete. The arrow moving forward means I've migrated the task, an X means I've cancelled the task, and a fully shaded black box means I have completed the task. And I find shading in the box is super satisfying. Okay, so now I'm going to get started with my contents page. I'm going to do a really similar design to the key page just to keep the first few pages consistent. I really like the idea of my bullet journal being a place where I can be creative and experiment with new spreads, but I do like to keep my setup pages pretty uniform, as this is a place where I do lots of long-term planning and I kind of find it easier to do this when everything's got a pretty similar look and feel. Okay, so next up I'm going to create my future log pages. This is where I do my long-term planning between 6 and 12 months. So I've divided each page up into 3 sections using really light pencil lines that I will be able to erase later. And then I'm going to use my mild gold mild liner, which is probably the favourite colour out of all of the ones that we've got in store at the moment, just to do the underline on the header. And I'm also going to use it to divide up the page too. And lastly, I'm just going to go in with some little footers which I can add the year into later, and then also I need to add the month to each section. So once again, I'm just going in and using the mild liner first, just because I find this particular black pen will smudge if I use the mild liner over the top of it. I really like to have 12 months ahead of me to plan, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a really similar layout for the following 6 months. And then to finish off both future log pages, I'm going to add my checkboxes down the left hand side of each monthly section. This is where I'll add my tasks and meetings and appointments. Lastly, once the ink is nice and dry, I'm just going to go back and erase any of the pencil lines that I've left. Right, and now we're on to our first weekly spread. This is an 8-section layout that I like to use quite a lot. Each box is 6 centimeters wide by 9 centimeters long, and there's a ½ centimeter gap vertically and a whole centimeter gap along the middle horizontally. So I'm going to stick with my same coloured drop shadow theme for my weekly spread, and I'm going to do 7 of these boxes like this, and then the end section is going to be for something special. So again, I'm outlining the boxes with my Muji 0.5 gel pen, and then I am going to add my titles Monday through to Sunday. And in the last section, I'm going to use as a daily gratitude log. So going back to my main contents page, I'm going to start off by adding in the spreads I've already created. Obviously, this is something that will evolve over time with your bullet journal. Okay, now, so the very last spread I'm going to create is my monthly calendar and goals pages. This is a super simple layout. I just add the days of the month down the left hand side, followed by the days of the week in short form. So I make sure that when I create one of these each month, I migrate all of the tasks from my future log over into this monthly spread. So my goals layout is a super simple spread just so that I can see what all of my big tasks for the month ahead are. And of course, I'm going to go back to my contents page and I'm going to pop this in too. Alright, so here are my finished spreads. This is how I set up a brand new bullet journal. So starting off with the contents page, a future log, you can either do 6 months or 12 months like I like to do, followed by your first weekly spread and your monthly calendar and goals layout. As I mentioned at the beginning, lots of the materials I've used here are available in my online store, nikkisupply.com, so I'll pop a link to everything I've used in the description below. If you've got any questions about setting up your own bullet journal or any of the layouts or materials that I've used today, leave me a question in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks again for watching. Happy journaling!